most people think of genetics in the context of prevention, which is very powerful. The earlier you start, the better. You learn what's coming and you try and prevent it, right? We also know the way chronic disease manifests, there's a causation there. So if we target the cause, we've seen over and over and over again reversal. Now, there's some places where it's a little too far gone. So, for example, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, dementia. It depends, when did we actually catch you, right? If it's late, there's literal brain cells that have been damaged and neural linkages that are broken. So there's a certain degree of repair. But for the most part, if we know, so for example, diabetes, big one, right? We only have 5% of Americans are actually metabolically healthy now, according to the CDC. So if the CDC is saying that, it's probably like 1%. So now you have this mass metabolic unrest. And some of those people are now diabetic. I think like 90 million people. Sorry, I think it's like 40 million, 90 million are pre-diabetic. They're almost there. If we know why and we work on the why, the body is resilient. It will heal. If you keep fueling the why, the disease will maintain itself and keep, the symptomology you're dealing with will exist. And where this is really powerful is in female hormone issues. For example, just this morning, I was talking to a lady about endometriosis, and she said, yeah, I have this incurable disease called endometriosis. And what do I do about it? And I said, who told you it's incurable? Well, my doctor. No, because your doctor is trying to band-aid what is called endometriosis without knowing what caused it, right? And if you know that some women genetically make more estrogen, they're more estrogen dominant, and that estrogen has potential toxic byproducts that it can be converted into, and you make a lot of that, and plus you also take a birth control pill and add more estrogen, or you are working with a factory with chemicals and you're breathing in hormone mimics more estrogen, there's reasons. Again, DNA, I make too much, and the toxic version, and then habits, I'm also adding too much of more estrogen mimicry. That woman is going to have inflammation constantly from this overload of estrogen toxicity, which then leads to things that we call endometriosis or fibromyalgia or a crazy menstrual cycle or mood swings. So if you deal with the root and get rid of it, the body after a few months will heal and the symptomology you're feeling goes away. So yes, of course, if you do not deal with the root and the fire is constantly there of the inflammatory insult of the estrogen toxicity, endometriosis is incurable because the thing causing it was never removed. If I keep throwing a flamethrower in your face and just water, like, okay, you got to get rid of the fire, right? Then it is curable. So this is true for most chronic conditions. If you weren't born with it, it's not innate. It's not a genetic condition that you're born with. You do not have to have it. There's no such thing as there's diabetes and cardiovascular in my genetics. It's bad hardware or bad metabolic genes or something else that then leads to that. So if we, again, pinpoint the root, the biological failure, we focus on that, all these symptoms go away.